It's morning, and we slept the night away. It happened. Now we can't turn back the hands of time. Yes, we've stolen this moment. We can't change one simple fact. Okay, that's the wrong song. This episode starts off with the Everly Brothers. Dream, 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 dream. Starts off with Everly Brothers playing as June sits on the edge of her bathtub, daydreaming about the event that just took place last night. It's the morning after. She's all dressed in black still, covered in bruises, covered in blood, but she's wearing a sinister smile on her face. Was it all a dream? Did it really happen? As the shower water falls down behind her, she starts to feel everything all over again, still trapped in the moment. Leaning back, tilts her head, and we get that long, excruciating glare into the camera. She breathes in. Freedom. Welcome back, y'all. This is The Handmaid's Tale, Season 5, Episode 1, Morning. Oh my goodness, this has been one of the most anticipated seasons that I think for a long time. Season 3 may have been the one of the most anticipated after we had everything with the red center going off in season 2 and everything like that. Everybody been waiting on pins and needles for this season to happen. They starting to lose some people, because they thinking they dragging this out. So if you didn't know already, season 6, which happens next year, is the final season of this chapter of The Handmaid's Tale. I am expecting them to do the spin-off for the Testament because they said they had already got it approved and to put it in motion. We haven't heard any specific news about the Testament, but that is my guess that they are about to push the Testament further. If you have not read the books, the Testament is about Hannah and Nicole's experience as they are older, still dealing with the Gilead regime or the fallout of it. And there's some interesting people in that book that kind of change as a result of the years gone by. Okay. Now let's get back to the episode. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. At least for this particular season, you go ahead and watch The Handmaid's Tales with us. My name is Poetry. I am sometimes very graphic when I do these recaps and reviews on this show. But, here we go. Episode 2 will not be posted up until possibly either late tonight or tomorrow. It is 6 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm trying to get this recap out to you before I go to work. Okay, so back to June in the bathroom. As she takes in that breath of freedom, it's like, this is something that she's always dreamt about. What it will finally feel like to be free. That moment, killing Fred at the end of season 4, was free. Okay? But was she really free? All through this episode, we saw June go through bouts of quick flashes of PTSD moments that she had to shake herself out of, right? When we last saw June, we all saw the change in her. The hate that had welled up in her from the pain and torture and torment she has endured. It's all consumed her at this particular point. To me, way before they got to this point, June had already started to become like those who had enslaved her. When they even flashed back to June's earlier life pre-Gilead, I saw parallel behavior to her captives, and I kept saying, if she was one of the ones who couldn't have a baby, June would have been one of the commander's wives. I stand on that. But anyway, June is in prison by the trauma that she has experienced, which is why she is reacting the way that she does. She wants to feel proud of what she did to Fred. My dress is kind of, why is it off like that? She wants to feel connected to Fred. She wants to feel proud of what she did to Fred. She looks at her hands. Her knuckles are bruised, shredded, it seems, like they've been through a meat grinder. Later on in the episode, when she washed her hand, the bruises are gone. So now it makes me believe or rethink what I just saw. That it wasn't her knuckles that was shredded. It was the shredded pieces of Fred's flesh on her hands. But like I said, it still looked like it had been through a meat grinder. And then she recall seeing those same hands on a body hanging from the wall back in Gilead. Okay? Her face was reading, I did this for you. That's what her face was reading. But when she picks up the face towel that's next to her to wipe her hands dry, it's one that has like little images and logos for a baby. I think it was like a toy train or something like that. And it has blood already stained on it. So then she remembers. Reality hits in. Reality sets in. In my mind, she's thinking of Hannah. Oh, she flashback. That's right. She did flashback. She's thinking of Hannah. And her baby is still not free. She's here trying to enjoy this taste of freedom. And her baby is still trapped back there in Gilead. If something happens to Hannah, the blood on her hands is Hannah's. Okay? So, but she don't want to feel that feeling. So not needing to feel that, needing to be happy in what she achieves, she shakes it off and forces a smile on her face, right? Luke is outside on the bathroom door banging, trying to get her to come in or tapping, like, June, what's going on? What's going on? She rushes out the door and he sees her for the first time. Like, girl, what the hell happened? Okay? She went in the room and picked up Jelly Bean. For those of y'all who knew her, I rename people. Jelly Bean is Nicole, who I refuse to call Nicole. Her real name is Holly, is what June initially named her. Nicole she was named by the Waterfords. Jelly Bean, she was named by me. So you may hear me refer her back to Jelly Bean or Holly. Okay. And she went to go pick up Jelly Bean. She's hugging her and she's kissing her. She even gets blood on the baby's cheek. And then at that moment when her mouth is next to her cheek, she flashes back to the time that she bit Fred Waterford. As they were killing him and tormenting him and pulling flesh from his bone, she literally took her teeth into his face, into his ear, and ripped off pieces of flesh. I wasn't sure at first if it was his nose or his ear until later, but it's definitely some flesh came off in her mouth. I don't know if she chewed it up and ate it or chewed it up and spat it out. We didn't get to see that part, thank goodness, okay? You have to be in a blind fury in order to bite off someone's orifices. I guess she said Mike Tyson did it. She could too, okay? Anywho, when she realized, when she's going through this PTS moment, she puts the baby back into the crib and she starts to run out the house. Well, Luke and Moira are chasing her, trying to figure out what the heck is going on. She said to Moira, I killed him. And they're like, what? What the hell? I killed Fred Waterford. You know that she did the forehead thing. You know, she had picked up the forehead thing around season 3. She started doing the forehead. She picked up the forehead thing and did it to Moira, like, don't you understand? Aren't you connecting with me? Aren't you bonding with me? Remember, Moira is the one who was trying to get her to realize how angry she was and how unhealthy her anger had become, right? So no, Moira is not connecting with her. Like Moira used to hold a support group for the Handmaids, and June came in and basically disrupted it by, impregnating it with her anger and making everybody else's anger come to surface. But she repeated it. I killed him. By her hands, right? And they like to say, what now? But she didn't explain it any further. She just got in the car, took off. But where are you going? You know, that was the main question, that Luke was holding on to the door and she pulled off. I don't understand why people do that. You cannot stop this car. I don't know, maybe you think if I hold on to the door, she ain't gonna want to hurt me, so she'll stop. June gave no fucks at this particular time, right? So we finally see Nick go home. Yeah, I remember at the end of the episode where he met June in the house, everybody noticed that Nick had his wedding ring on, right? Well, we finally get to see why he is wearing a wedding ring. He got a whole nother wife. Remember, his first wife, Eden, got killed. Okay? This wife's name is Rose, who is disabled. And I thought that they killed all the disabled folks. Weren't they part of the unwomen? I didn't think that the disabled women were allowed to survive unless they crippled them themselves like they did with Serena Joy and her finger. I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. But I thought the disabled folks were killed off or taken to the colonies and made to be unwomen and things like that. Well, Rose, she seems to know all about June. And it's implied that she knows what it was that June needed to do. And she was giving praises and prayers for June's peace of mind. Like, everybody is satisfied that June did what she did. And I was like, Nick, what have you really told this woman about June? Okay. Moving on over to Serena Joy. I see we're going to get the long stares into the camera from her as well this season. They did it too many times. She in there doing her yoga poses, belly all full of baby. Got finding her zen, aligning her chi, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I guess at this point, she hadn't heard about what happened to Fred yet. Not until the guards burst into her room. They disrupted her tranquil space, got guns out, told her in her face, hey, get up and move now. I was like, what is going on? Serena, like, what is going on? They finna move her to a secure facility. And she like, no, I'm not. I ain't going nowhere without Tuello. You're still property of the ICC at this point, honey. You moving, okay? And it's for your safety at this particular time. She's still like, look, not until Tuello get her. He made her some promises. She basically wants them promises to be filled. They're like, no, sweetie, let's go now, okay? So they transported her, and they really rough with it too. They dragged her and rushed her through the hallway. During the transport, she learned why Fred is dead, okay? We already identified the body, child. You may be next, so we need to get you to safety. So we got to move it. We got to move it, girl. Serena actually looked shocked and saddened. I was expecting to see a little smile of relief, at least for a brief moment. But nope, we got tears of anguish, honey. She was really saddened. So June went up to meet with the other ladies. That's where she headed off to. They had this little diner out in the middle of nowhere. Only a couple of them looked like June in appearance with the bruises and, you know, stuff all over their body. They didn't have blood all over them like June did. But, you know, nobody spoke, right? Except for the waitress who was serving them. But she got some head nods of approval, like, we did that, girl. We did that. And then they ate. They ravaged that food. I don't think the girl swallowed, okay? She just inhaled the food at this particular time. They all like acting like this is just another morning. And then we heard Dolly Parton as the soundtrack to their meal for that morning, singing Getting Happy. We released 15 minutes in, y'all, the episode, because I made sure I checked the timer. 15 minutes in, and June has stirred. Oh man, I gotta get closer. Into the camera 7 times at this point, 15 minutes in. So basically almost every 2 minutes and 15 seconds June is staring into the camera. And they do that very tight frame on her face. Why are we getting so many close-ups of June's face? They doing it on purpose. They said, we know that poetry over there on My Twisted Life of TV can't stand looking at June's face in the camera like that. And we're going to do it so many times this season that she's going to shut up talking about it. Because she's going to get tired of talking about it, because that's all her review is going to be about, is June's face into the doggone camera. Lord Jesus, have mercy on the little tank. Ooh. It irritates me. It irritates me to see her close up and she looking like food hanging out her mouth and shit. Just, oh. Anyway, Vicky is the Asian persuasion sister, right? And there's Danielle, the black girl. They the only two that really have commentary during this whole scene other than June. Apparently, food tastes better knowing Fred is dead, okay? And Danielle want to know when we gonna go back and get the mistress too. I've been dreaming about mine. We need to get at her, right? It'll be the cherry on the top, just like that shake that June was drinking in that moment. But June, she's fluttering back and forth between joy and PTSD, right? Like, here we go again. Another tight shot on her face. Like, Danielle takes her outside like, I got something for you, right? Shows her a trunk full of rifles and guns. Says she can get more. I'm like, now where you get all these doggone guns all of a sudden? When y'all needed to do what y'all had to do to Fred, y'all went bare fist. Now you got all these weapons the next morning, just the morning after, right? She gives June one and say, hey, can Nick get the mistress to the border? I need to get at that for real. I mean, why start with Fred? But June tells them, nah, that ain't gonna happen. Why not? I don't understand why not either. Ain't he a doggone eye? But not only is he an eye, he is now a commander with some power. One who was able to arrange Fred's assassination, not to mention an attack in Chicago. Daniel and Vicky like, right, like, we want to go back and get the wives too, okay? June is going to make a whole lot of excuses. She not finna use Nick to help y'all do a damn thing, right? She not helping y'all achieve y'all dream. No, y'all ain't getting that from her, okay? June is and has always been selfish as fuck. She only thinks about herself, and she's been this way pre-Gilead, okay? These women were manipulated and gaslighted to help her out and do what she needed to do. But if it ain't benefiting June, it is not a priority on her bucket list, baby. She flips the conversation to like, where's Emily? Where Emily at? For those of us who don't know, Alexis Bledel, the one who plays Emily, she quit the show. She said she was not going to be returning this season. So in this season premiere, this opening, we get the reason. They explain why Emily is missing, okay? Danielle say it don't matter that she ain't here. We here. So what's up? What's up with us, okay? They basically told her the same thing I did. We went into this woods for you, okay? And she like, that was to kill Fred. He had to pay. He had to pay. Danielle said that was your damn problem. He was your monster, not ours, okay? We tore him apart for you. What have you done for us lately? Okay, so like I said, June gonna gaslight them until the cows come home, baby. You gonna leave your family? You gonna leave your kids? Go back to do what? Just to get caught somewhere between here and Philadelphia? No, she said have Nick bring their ass to the god doggone border. But no, not June's selfish ass. She not even gonna give it a thought. Not one single thought. And people out here was calling her Harriet Tubman. How dare you? Harriet would have been halfway back by now. No questions asked. Leaving half the people behind that didn't even want to come. Okay? That's how Harriet would have did it, right? So Vicky frustrated. She pulled her piece out on June like, look her bitch. We was down for you. Okay? Are you down for any of us? You know, June steps to the gun. You know, June wants to be a hero, but June wants to die at the same time. That's what I'm sensing her. So she steps to to the gun that Vicky pulled on her and says, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm down for you guys. I can't call it for real. I would have popped her right then. I would have popped her ass right then. You know, I help you commit a crime, murder at this particular point, and then you can't do the same for me. Now your hands are clean, it's washed away. You done with us? Vicky didn't shoot her. She was out of frustration. She fired one off into the sky, which made all the rest of the women panic, like she gonna bring trouble. Because everybody from the diner came out and was looking like, what the fuck is going on out there, right? And Vicky like, June hopped back in the car and Vicky was like, you know, you had us out there in the woods for you. But now that we done with your deed, you gonna run off, you fucking coward. She more than a coward. She's selfish. Selfish. She takes no accountability for those she hurt or gets hurt by the choices she makes to make her life better, to make her life easier. So if y'all didn't know, let me say it again. For those who have never been here before, I cannot stand June. I probably haven't since season 2. Okay? Anywho, Tuello finally gets there to Serena Joy and comes in. And Serena Joy is like, what happened? No, what happened? What happened on that fucking plane? Okay? Tuello lets her know he never made the plane to Geneva. Remember, he was going to Geneva for safety. He was making a deal to be like the snitch on Gilead. And instead, the U.S. government made a deal with Gilead for prison exchange. They was exchanging 22 political prisoners who have been in the colonies for Fred. And Tuello said, I delivered him as planned. Okay? My hands are clean. I don't know what happened to him after that. When he said my hands are clean, that was a pun intended. Okay? Right now, well, I said his hands are clean, pun intended there. But right now, his job is to protect her and the baby. From who? Okay? That's what me and Serena want to know. From who? Okay? He says she received 2 gifts this morning. Okay? One was Fred's wedding ring, still attached to the finger. Okay? And then a photo with a warning on it. I didn't quite catch what the word says, but if I'm not mistaken, the words that was inscribed in June's closet in the Waterford's house, I believe that was what was on the picture. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Drop it in the comment section if y'all was able to clearly see what words were on that picture. Okay, so Serena knows instantly though, oh, this ain't Gilead's doing. This was June. Tuello like, nah, she couldn't have did that. She said, what do you mean she could have did that? She's a fucking monster. They pulled back, they in there seeing Fred's body. They pulled back the tarp off his body. And she was like, look at what she did. Look at what she's done. Am I too soon? I jumped the gun. They haven't went to go see his body yet. But she says they're late on in the episode. Okay, so anyway. So June, she runs over to Emily's house. Olivia comes out and tells her, Emily went back to Gilead to fight. Now, y'all know I've been wanting Emily to go back and fight for the longest. I wanted to see it in action. Okay? She's suspecting that she's going back to get Aunt Lydia. And she told June, don't go after her. Don't look for her. And June said, I'm going to fix it. This is my fault. She said, I don't care whose fault it is. She's gone. So I don't care whose fault it is. She's not here anymore. She left me and she left her son. It's what she wanted. And I don't expect her to ever come back. I don't expect to ever see her again, right? And I'm still looking at June like, why are you still running around town with all this blood on you? It was annoying me, y'all. Like, take a bath and wash off something. She ate that food, y'all, with the blood and flesh still all in her fingernails and her hands. She's stuffing sausages and eggs and shit out her mouth. And I was like, wash your fucking hands. Anywho, it was annoying me because nobody outside of Luke and Moira questioned why the fuck she looked this way. But she tells her, I'm going to find her, Olivia. Olivia said, no, you won't. No, you won't. She said, well, if you heard from her, would you let me know? No, I ain't doing that either. Bye. Get the fuck out of my life, is what Olivia's pretty much saying. Then they tight framed on her face again. Ooh. And she angry peels off. I think she goes to a gas station bathroom, I think. And she looking in the mirror and she starts to wash her hands and she realized, oh shit, I still got blood on me. Panic sets in. Okay, she's freaking out. She starts to scrub him and it don't seem to be going nowhere. I was like, use soap. Use soap. She never touched the damn soap. I'm like, a little dab of do sis. A little dab of do right? Maybe some hot water. You know, it's not the cold. You know, do something. It'll do the trick. Just a thought. Just a thought. Well, finally, after feverishly scrubbing her hands with paper towels and her face, she's just scrubbing herself down like that. She's a little bit cleaner than before. She heads to a lake of icy water, and I was like, drown yourself. this lake of icy water, and she's immediately flooded with memories of Hannah Banana. Okay? Told you she going through moments of PTSD. She going through moments of guilt. All of that is sitting on her chest right now. So the next time we see her, she's sitting down there and Luke comes in the building. She's sitting in some room. Luke comes in and she's telling him how much she's ruined his life and how she can't be trusted to be around Holly. And she's turning herself into the police. She's turning herself in and admitting that she killed Fred. And Luke is like, what the fuck? Let me talk to my wife for a moment. Hold up, right? I'm sitting here thinking, I was watching just like this. She gonna get away. They ain't gonna do shit to June. They never do shit to June. June has been the one handmaid that has always missed punishment, extenuating punishment. She's had punishment, but not like death and losing limbs like the others and stuff like that. She ain't going to jail. They gonna figure out some kind of way to work it out. She hollered back to Luke, finally get a lawyer. And I was like, what you asking for a lawyer for? Because if you truly think that you need to pay for your sins and you in here admitting guilt, what you need a lawyer for? If you really finna take responsibility, you don't need a fucking lawyer. If they give her anything, it's gonna be a slap on the wrist. It's gonna be a slap on the wrist. This right here is all smoke and mirrors. This is so June could be absolved of her own guilt. Okay? You know, so what happened? They tell her, well, since this did not occur in Canada, this is no concern of the Crown. The Crown has no issue with you. I had forgot up until this point that Canada is still under the royal family in England. They're an independent country, but they still fall under her, okay? But like I said, they gave her a slap on the fucking wrist. At first, really not even a slap on the wrist. Wasn't even a pinch on the ear for real. It was like, all right, cool. You good. You straight. You can get up out of here. June like, wait. No punishment? No punishment? The prosecutor said that's between you and your God, girl. That's between go forth and be free. She got charged $88 for transporting Fred's finger across the border. It was biological warfare or some shit like that. They considered it. It was something biological they considered. And yeah, she got charged $88. Okay, we take cash, check, or charge, and you can even do it online. Go on, girl, get out of here. Okay. So I'm like, Tuhello is going through hoops to keep Serena out of harm's way, supposedly. And the Canadian government is like, hey, Sarah, you know what I'm saying? And for the second time in this episode, June is free. Well, technically, the third time. First time would be in the morning when she was in her own bathroom. The second time would be at the lake for a brief moment after she cleaned herself up. And now she's in the jail being freed again. Okay. They said that because where the act took place, it was on no man's land. Canada doesn't own it. Gilead doesn't own it. The U.S. doesn't own it, right? So therefore, she hasn't committed any crimes. But rest assured, okay, she hasn't committed any crimes. So Serena is telling Tuhello, lock her up and throw away the key. What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay. Tuhello says, look here, the girl is free. Ain't nothing we can do about that. And once your charges are dropped, you can live free too. You can get asylum and be a refugee in Canada as well. And I'm like, in Canada with the person who just murdered her husband? And the person who don't think too kindly of her either, the one who just mailed her a finger as a warning, who gonna protect her once she's free? Once her charges are dropped, she's no longer under the U.S. government's eye. Who gonna protect her? She said the same thing. Who finna protect me? You? Now we're at the point where they inside the morgue and they looking at Fred's body. Who gonna protect me? You gonna protect me like you did Fred? She pulled back that damn tarp off his body and said, look at him. Can you see what the fuck she does, right? Baby, they fucked Fred up. They fucked him up. He missed the whole shin. Flesh ripped from his ribs all the way up to his heart. His heart looked like it was technically missing out of his body. He didn't have one anyway, right? His wanker gone. They took that stuff. You ain't gonna use this no more. Not even in the afterlife. They took it. And we know June ate something or bit something off his face. Plus the wedding ring finger. Okay. So Serena Joy steps outside the morgue. Everybody pauses on the porch. I was confused. Okay. We look out into the world, and there's a row of supporters with lighted candles in respect to Fred. Okay. She's greeted by supporters here in Gilead, which gives her so much satisfaction here. First she was shocked, and she was like, they like, praise be, Fred's gone to heaven, we love you. And she was like, damn, thank you. Really? Thank you. Okay. And this makes her feel more empowered at this particular point. So she tells Twillo, I'm taking my husband home to bury him. Okay? I'm taking him back to the nation that he created, where his name has power and will be respected. Okay? And I was like, how, Sway, how you gonna do that? You in custody. Twillo said the same thing. I don't think that's gonna be possible. She said, any civilized country would do so after my husband has been murdered. So make it happen. That's pretty much what she tell him. He look at her like, this bitch, I used to love her. Y'all know Twillo got a thing for her. Anywho, June was back home, and Moira is like, what the fuck? June is not okay. You know, Luke is going around like everything's everything. It's just another morning. You know what I'm saying? Let's get her a little drink, get her some wine. But Moira's like, dude, he was going back to Gilead. Gilead would have killed Fred on their own, but she had to go do it herself with her bare hands? Are you kidding me? Something's not right with her. Okay. And I was like, Moira, you can't be acting that surprised. You knew what the plan was. You knew what she was up to. They chat briefly about Emily going back to Gilead. June and Moira, right? And June is like, who the fuck does that? Who goes back like that? Like what she did was conscionable. Like, come on, right? And Moira said, yeah, some people break sometime. But she was talking about her. That's what she was talking about, right? So it's time to give Jelly Bean a bath. If nothing else, Jelly Bean get a bath. Every time we see her, any episode she in, Jelly Bean is getting a bath, right? June is like, let me take my daughter. Moira said, no, I am not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with you, for that matter. I'm scared of you. Okay, June agrees. Okay, then Twillo comes by, and I was like, for what? It's the middle of the damn night. She not being arrested. Why are you here? That's what June asked him too. What you here for? You finna arrest me? So he tell her that Serena is scared, because June asked, what does Serena say? Serena is scared, but be careful about scared people. They could be dangerous. Well, you're looking at one right now. Okay, you're talking to the wall. Preach to the choir at this particular point. But yeah, scared people, they can go off the rails. That's what they do. Gilead scared too. Okay? Trust me, they're not finna let this go. They're not finna let a handmaid kill a commander without some type of backlash from it. Okay? In other words, he was insinuating to me that the handmaids that's left back there, oh, they about to get it. They about to get it. Well, his purpose of coming by was to tell her job well done. She's shocked. I'm shocked too, okay? He giving her praise. He said, you know, you did something that was terrible, but it needed to be done. Something that the U.S. government could never have the balls to do themselves. Something that the Canadian government would not have the balls to do themselves. They all about negotiations and stuff like that, right? When June hears these words and gets this affirmation or this reassurance from Twillo, the guilt just falls away. It just melts away, right? She goes back into the house where Moira and Luke are both giving Jelly Bean a bath. This child is screaming at the top of her doggone lungs. She do not want to be bathed, okay? Not with two grown-ass people sitting there watching her. So, June comes in and is like, can I get her? Can I take her? Can I touch her? You know what I'm saying? She immediately starts to come to the edge and tub, like, wow, mommy. You know, Luke was like, you see mommy, come on in and get it, come on mommy, come get the baby. And Maura even like didn't resist. She welcomed her in as well too. Okay, you know, Jelly Bean went to her mama's arms and immediately quieted down. Oh, there was no more guilt left in June's body. None. It had been evaporated at that point. It was comforted by the arms of Jelly Bean. She's safe in her mama's arms. All right. That's the end of the episode, y'all. Thank y'all for being patient. Thank y'all for waiting. Episode 2, like I said, won't post until either late tonight or Sunday morning. I want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Comment. Please comment in the comment section. I love having discussion. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.